Hey there, everyone. Greetings. Rory, are you with us, buddy?
I am indeed. I am indeed.
Hey,
How
welcome,
are you
every.
doing, my friend?
I'm doing pretty good. This is a different time for me. I've got the show synced up to New York time,
Okay.
and I don't have daylight savings time where I live. So it's like, oh, it's an hour later for me. So it's kind of, we had that week, Rory, where I was like, well, we'll
Mm-hmm.
keep doing it because I think New York hadn't synced up yet. And then now New York is synced up. So
Okay.
that's kind of where we are right now. So we're doing the
Fair enough.
show. For me, I've had another hour to think about things. So,
So you're extra specially prepared and
right.
ready.
Anyone in the chat room, let us know how sound is. We had a few minor adjustments made just before we started. Seems like we always are tweaking that a little bit. Let us know. Let's jump over and talk about what I'm doing right now. I'm checking some code in right now,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm about to check that in and give you a link to that. Just going through all the changes that I've made here. Added, I got an inspiration and between last Thursday and today, and I spent like about a day working on this. And I added a bunch of stuff to uh, to this. Like I'm typing in now, I added health to the drones. So the drones
Ooh.
now have health. The drones are bigger too. I made the drones bigger now.
I
Uh,
thought there was something slightly different about it. I didn't think it was a different model, but yeah, certainly it appeared a bit, sort of bigger.
well,
That's nice.
I'm thinking they are bigger since the last time you were there. We were talking, I
Yeah.
think. So the drones are bigger now. Let's see what else we've got in here. That's these changes. Index. I added point and line. We talked about that. I created those
Mm-hmm.
separate pieces, and that's just point and line reference there. So we're going to stage all right like this, and push changes immediately. Go ahead and commit.
Just reading your comment there, you've added some sound.
Yeah, I've got sound for when it. I've got sound effects when the drone hits. Let me add
Mm-hmm.
a tag here real quickly. So we're at episode 49. That's
Yep.
begin. That's 49 is 7 squared for any number fans out there. I'm
Mm-hmm.
a huge fan of 49. And there we go. So that's out there. Now with that out there, we should be able to bring up Mr. Announcer Bot. There it is right over there on that screen. Let me bring it over. And there's episode 49 begin. That's today's show right there. As always, you can get the latest source code that we're working on at this location. So, and I just put that in the chat room. So, with that, let's show you the changes that we've got. Another
Okay.
change that I made, by the way, to the stream is the waiting stream that comes up before we start. Will Bennett has just revealed some private information. Um, I feel like now the remaining digits are a no-brainer to guess. You've given it
Sure.
all away, Will,
We're
all
coming for you.
away. So we're coming for you now. That's what this show's all about, right, Rory? We've just
Oh yeah.
it's a ruse
It's
that
a
we're
huge
writing
honeypot,
code.
right?
Yeah, it's a honeypot just to get you to type in 2 digits of your social security number and it's over.
Yeah.
All right. So we've got the overlay loaded right here. I should be able to do a couple things here. Let's do a test on the wall. And the test wall should see 4 balls coming up now, as you can see right there. And let's now bring out a drone. And you can see the new, bigger, improved drones here. I'm going to move away from Rory a little bit there so you can see. Those lights across the front, that's your health. So if I move down and then move to the left and I take a hit, you should be able to hear a sound effect and see that my health has dropped a bit. If I continue to go left and take another hit, another sound effect,
Nice.
and one more time. And I've got 1 life left. You see that right there? That's my 1 life.
Yeah.
And once I take it out, once I go out of there, I'm gone. So we've got some health, which is kind of fun, and it works. And yeah, and I feel like I owe an apology to you, Rory, and to Will, and to everybody else who uh, I just. I guess I'll get the apology out and then I'll respond to what Will's saying out in the chat room, which looks awesome. But
Yeah.
I know. I think I owe you an apology because normally I do this with you, and I feel like I kind of did it without you. But I didn't.
That's
I
fine.
was like, I am
When the
going to.
moment grabs you, you have to go, right? When you have the inspiration,
Okay, fine.
you know.
Yeah, I think that's fine. All right. So we've got that. There's also some subtle things going on here. If I come in here and I create another drone, and I come down and I do like a really close bounce. So let me move left like 0.7. Just get really close. And a little bit closer. Now, one of the things, notice what's happening here on mine over there on the left side over there, is that the wall is passing through my drone. My drone is
Yeah.
only detecting for collision with the center of the drone,
Oh, I see.
right? We wrote that code to do it, and I haven't fixed that or changed that. I have ideas on how I want to change that and fix that, but to improve the collision so that right now I should be collided, but I'm not. I am going to now move just a little bit more, 0.2 to the left, get a little closer. So I'm just easing up. And now what I'm going to do is come in slowly, again one more time, and I'll hit a bump. And when I hit the bump, what's going to happen is there's a bounce back that I added. And the bounce back is at least, I think, something like 3/4 of a meter per second squared. I mean, 3/4 of a meters per second. It's the velocity. So what happened is I was pretty close. I hit it and it bounced me further away. So I added this to keep, because I noticed I was getting into these kind of infinite loop bounces where it was going ba 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 ba, and that sort of thing was happening. There's another subtle thing that happens too. You probably haven't noticed it because it's so subtle, but watch when I hit. There's a small cloud of smoke that hits as well.
I did see the smoke.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that smoke is there as well. So that's kind of cool. So it's
Even
all
greater levels of realism.
yeah, we're in fact, everything we're doing is just to drop suspension of disbelief is essentially what we're trying to do. And I think right now we have a sense that, yeah, we've actually got drones here flying around to some degree on the screen. By the way, my intention is not on today's show, but tomorrow's show, to make it so the drones can collect the coins, and those coins are stored permanently on your record. They're stored permanently with your
Permanent
player.
record sounds serious.
Yes, it does, doesn't it? They used to say this to me all the
Levels of
time,
trepidation.
all the time in school. This is going on your permanent record, Miller.
This was a threat that was leveled over people's head for a long time. I don't think I've ever seen anybody's permanent record. I think they might have been lying to us.
My permanent record is like this big, is what it is. All right. So, hold on. I wanted to get, Will Bennett said, we were talking about identity theft. He says, anybody who steals my identity would hate it. I bet they give it back in less than a day. I say the same thing about my kids. My kids, you can steal my kids. You're going to return them within an hour. You'll be like, and you'll be a changed person. You'll be like, I never should have stolen the kids. Will says, I guess the sound effects are a bit low. I don't hear it. So let's figure that out. Why don't we see that? Why aren't we hearing the sound effects? Let's see. Let me try. One of the things I noticed, if I just crank up my volume, did you hear it that time? Oh, the second time I didn't hear it, Rory. I heard it the first time.
I heard something over the Skype connection, but I'm not hearing anything over the stream.
It's part of desktop audio. It should be coming across. If I increase...
But is it not playing over the web browser that is OBS looking at this web app? So it's got to be, the overlay needs to know, presumably, that there is audio coming from the overlay in order to add it to the stream as a whole.
Oh, I wonder if we've never had sound all this time, and I've thought we've had sound. I hear it here. Wait, it's desktop audio, though, and I'm sending desktop audio across. I am doing that.
Okay.
So that's how your voice gets across as well. I think I think they are probably hearing it, but let me go into my volume mixer and play with this a bit, because one of the things that I've noticed is that I have to kind of do something like this. There's OBS. Let's crank up OBS's sound, and I've got yours down a little bit, like this, Rory. So go ahead, Rory, keep talking. And,
okay, testing. Testing, 1, 2, 3.
And so Will said he heard it a little. I do have the
Yeah.
volume low on those because I'm imagining if a bunch of people are bumping into it, I don't want it to be kind of overwhelming. So let's go down again and you'll probably hear the blow up though. That volume on that is higher. So we might need to tweak
So I've
these
got
a
my
little bit.
stream playing, and
Let me go right.
oh, I heard something that time
and
on
down.
the stream.
Yeah, but those were explosions. Let's try it right here. And I'm going to go down and I hear it here. Let's listen to the stream as well. Those were explosions. Let's try it right here. And I'm going to go down and I hear it here. Let's listen to the stream as well. Those were explosions. Let's try it right here. Yeah, I am hearing it. I'm hearing it on the stream. But it is it's quiet.
Pretty low.
So
yeah.
I can increase the volume on those special effects, on those sound effects. I'll do that. I'll bump the volume up on those a little bit so we hear them a little louder.
Okay.
So next, what I want to do is I want to be able to take meteors and pass them through these right here, these walls, and blow them up on these, I think.
Okay,
And I almost think I'm going to make a third wall, which is a bouncy wall, which you can hit and it bounces you even more. It increases your bounce back and you can bounce other things off of. So I think I want to do that. And,
okay.
And I want to change it both in color and visually. So that's one of the things you notice I'm doing here. Oh, you know what? I just realized these feel like they're going too fast for me. These right here. I guess the best way is these things right here. These little lightsaber walls. I think those are going too fast, and I want to slow them down. I think a little bit. Okay, so we got some changes we need to make. Let's set up with a test first of all, so that we can test quickly and easily. I want to create. I want to take this dotted line wall, put it up above this other one up at the top, and move those both underneath the rocket, so that when I type in drop like this, we can just do a quick test to see if it goes through one and explodes on the second. That's ultimately what we want to do. So let's do that. Also, let me see if I can quickly adjust my white balance here, because it looks like I am. It looks like white balance has gone to auto. I think I want that not so much on auto, and somewhere in there is where I think I want me. All right, it's not bad. And brightness too. Let's see if we can bring up brightness here a little bit. There we go. That's nice. Okay, we'll save those as defaults. Okay, so let's do that. So let's look at that change first. We're going to go into main. And down at the bottom of main is where we are throwing up. These are where we throw up the walls. If param is equal to wall, we're going to do that. Let's set a different parameter up here. I want to call this, I think, rect. And we're going to rect like that. So and then this, this is going to be a drop test. So test to drop like this. And then we need to we want 2 horizontal walls.
Yep. And you want the top one to be the dashed.
Yep. The dashed wall is going to be on top.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say this is going to be minus 300, and this one is going to be plus 300 right here. I'm going to go from 0 is the X position. Wait, what is this right here? This is the X position, and then the width or the size of the wall is the very last parameter. So I'm specifying a center point right here is what I'm doing. So I want these to be like, I think minus another, let's do this. Let's just set it, instead of cross X, let's just put it out to the right about 400. No, let's put it out 200. So put it 200, start it at 200 to the right. And then from the top, we can make the first one at 300 and the second one at 600, like that. And then we're going to make the width of these 400 each. So it should go from the far left all the way to 400 in, is if we do just drop, test drop. So let's save that. Let's refresh. So we're going to switch over here and let that reload. I'll start typing in test drop. Here comes the overlay. It's starting to come up. There it is. It's up. So here's the test drop. Okay. Not bad. It looks like I can't really go at 0. I've got to, because I think that's the inside of the left piece. In fact, I can actually see that it is. If I look at the far left edge of the screen, here, let me see if I can bring my mouse and line it up. Right over here, on the left of this, I can see something just popping in. You can probably see that on the stream as well. Just
ever so slightly.
Just a little bit on the left side. And what that is that's this edge of the ball just shaking there. So
it's the end cap.
Yep, exactly. So if I want to change that so it just comes in a little bit more, I think it's end cap. And do I have a width in here? I got to go drill in and see what I've got.
Did we have a end caps plural that might have had a width on it? Or maybe not. I'm not sure.
Oh yeah.
Point.
No, you're right. We did, and that was an instance of a class that we loaded up, and it's called sprite width. Is what it is, right, like there. So we can do that. We can say sprite width divided by 2. So that's going to be half of the width of that sprite, and that should now line it up exactly where we want it. The next time we do that, and so that's pretty good. And then so now if we do a drop, we can go do that test, and we'll be able to then check and see what happens. So let's now do a dock so we kind of clean this up. Wilman, it says, I don't care what you say. They are planets. Meteors have trails like a shooting star. They're debris after all. So really interesting that Will says that, because I've actually several times thought about changing them to rotating planets, because I think rotating planets are very cool, right? Recognizable rotating planets. I already have access to a rotating moon that I think is gorgeous, but I don't have access to rotating other planets. And so I haven't been able to track down rights to that, being able to do that yet. So that's probably one of the main reasons why I don't do that. The other thing, just to give you a preview, is I actually want to create UI in the game where you can make choices based on which of the power-ups or the choice power-ups you fly your drone through. So for example, I might have, different cutscenes down at the bottom for different cool things that we can do inside of the code and in the editor. Like we might fill this up with like this black fluid that just fills all the way up to the screen and then goes away in a cool way. And that might be the way that we end a game, for example. And so when we're ready to end a game, I could bring the power-ups, and if somebody wanted to choose one, they could go race to fly through it and see if they could get through it in time to get it and impact what's happening. So it's kind of a future thing I want to do, is I want to be able to put things up where you can go get them. Also, similarly, when your health drops, I want to be able to have power-ups you can fly through to increase your health or your battery power, whatever you want to call it, back up. Okay, so I'm going to dock for now, and that's going to get rid of clean things up a bit. And just so we can see the code. And let's see. We need to go into wall sprites. This is where the code needs to be. And in wall sprites, there may even be a little bit of cleanup here we need to do. So I created this very functional lines class, and I created a point class. The point class is incredibly simple right now. That's it right there. It just has a public X and a public Y. My line class has an alternate constructor from coordinates, and it's got a function called rise and run, which I'm already using in lines intersect right here, which is inside a wall sprite. You remember we wrote this. It used to be called intersects. I renamed it to lines intersect. Now, if you're looking at this for even a second, you're probably thinking, this doesn't belong here. It really doesn't. Wall sprites doesn't really deserve to have
It's not the sole arbiter of lines intersecting. We probably want to use this for other things.
It's not. And so what I want to do instead is I want to take lines intersect, and I want to get it out of here, and I want to refactor it, so I put it over here. So I put it over here. I don't want it to be a static function that takes in two lines. I want to change it to like, I'm going to rename it a third time now, intersects with, right? And just take in a B line like that. And for now, I'm going to just do this. It's kind of like a trick. I'm going to say let A of type line equal this, like that, as a trick.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's my A. But now, watch, I'm going to trick it a second time. I'm going to rename A to this, and now I'm going to delete this line of code. Okay?
Yeah,
and now,
that works.
Now I'm going to come in here to B, and I'm going to call this the test line, like this, or compare line, or something like that. Test line, I like that. Okay, so now we've got intersects with, right? And so it's very cool. It's in line, and now that means down here where I say, instead of calling this dot lines intersect, I'm just going to go in here and I'm going to grab the path vector for the sprite. I'll tell you about that in a second. And I'm going to call intersects with wall sprite.getLine. Okay, and that's what I'm going to do. Now, path vector, I added this as well. And all it is it was doing work that was here in wall sprites, and now it's inside where it should be. The sprite, when you call path vector, will give you a line from the last position it updated at to the current position. So you can see where it's moved between the last update time and the current one. That's the vector.
Okay.
Okay?
Nice.
So we're just getting...
just while sorry, Mark, you've on line 22 there, you've left a comment that should have traveled with your function, I think.
This one?
It might cause confusion. Line 22.
Line 22. Return true if line A intersects line B. Oh, you're right. Yeah. So that's what we're going to do. And so we're going to change that.
Quite so accurate, but yeah.
Return true if test line intersects with this line.
There we go.
Like this. Nice. So that's some nice refactoring right there, right? That's talking about putting things where they belong, right? That sort of thing. Will is saying a beeline. We voted for drones, Mark. Yeah, there were. Yes, you're right. We did vote for drones, and I've got a beeline, but I renamed it to test line. Okay, so we got rid of the beeline because that's what we said. So let's look at this. So now we're calling path vector intersects with wall sprite. So this should work for the meteor as well. So what I'm not getting is why is the meteor not blowing up? Okay, because we're checking drone here, and then we're doing some work here. So we're decrementing health, and we're calling play zap. And I've got a check in here that says if the sprite health is greater than 1, okay, then we're going to do all this. We're going to have some sparks, and we're going to decrement health and make it play a sound. Otherwise, we're going to call self-destruct on it. So that's the meteor right there. We could argue that all of this code really I'm sorry, that's the meteor. That's the drone I meant to say. We could argue that all of this code really should be moved over to drone, right? And why not? Because we are, let's just do it. We're going to say test sprite.hit wall. Like that. And I'm going to use selection increase to get that whole piece. I just hit selection increase.
Is there any kind of extract method that we can do here? Any refactoring that is capable of that?
I'm pretty sure there's not. Let's go look at it. I'll hit the CodeRushed key. I'll hit the control dot key. What is it? Extract to method in class wall sprites. So we can bring it here is what we can do. So I guess that gets us a little closer. Why not? Let's go ahead and do that. We'll do that and put that out here, and we'll call this. Now what? Spark creation time. It didn't like the this in there. Wait, what's going on? Spark.
That's a little strange because it hasn't actually changed class yet. So any reference to this should have been as valid as it used to be.
Let me undo it.
Huh.
Well, the this in this case, let's see, is it?
Are we in a for each already?
We're in a for each, and the this in this case is actually this. We're passing it in. So it should
right, but when we
still
extract,
work.
it perhaps doesn't understand that you're, well, so spark creation time is still referring to the class that you're in when the extraction happens, rather than the this that's bound to it because it's no longer bound.
The class I'm in, though, I'm binding the this to it, if I'm looking at this correctly. Spark,
well, I think you've got the code right.
But Spark creation time, hold on. Spark creation time is, Spark creation time, I didn't think it was here. Is it here? I don't think it was here. I think it was in the drone.
But, oh, right.
I think that this code, wait, what's going on here with this code? That's really weird to me. Let me just undo it. Yeah, this code looks like it does not work. It's the drone coming in. Am I missing something? This code looks like it shouldn't work, but we were just trying it and it certainly looked like it was working. Now, all right, you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to still move forward on this and I'll make the code work. I will beat it into submission when we get to its final location. So we'll make sure it works is what I'm going to do. But I agree with you. I'm like a little bit like, what? That should Spark creation time is oh, you know what? I just think the code's wrong. I think I put it in here and the code is returning true every single time we get in here and dropping health and playing the zap even if the minimum time between explosions isn't there. I think this code was never working. I'm looking at that
Oh,
now
okay.
and that's my new conclusion because Spark creation time should be inside of test sprite. Now if we drill to it, we can see it. So that's where it should be. I had moved the code and I didn't double check it and that was, I think, what was going on. Okay, so let's do again. We're going to come up here like this. We're going to use selection increase. We're going to hit the CodeRushed key and we're going to choose extract. Method to class wall sprites. We're going to do that and we're going to rename this. You cannot rename this element. Why can't I rename this? Come on, now I can, I bet. Come on. It's because I'm not running. Well, speaking of which, I just realized I don't have, I'm not running here. When you extract as a function, this will be wall sprites. Yeah, I know that. I think I may have got that a little bit too late. I think because it doesn't see the this here, it just doesn't see that and understand it. So I'm going to say instead, I'm going to say test sprite dot hit wall like that, and I'll pass in now like that. And then we're going to turn this to hit wall. We're going to bring it over into use selection crease on that, grab it, bring it over into drone. Like that. And then we're going to say, we're going to rename this to this, like that, and then get rid of it. And then I think it looks like that. And we're going to maybe take out private on here, like that. And so now we've got a hit wall call. If our health is greater than 1, play zap is over in wall sprite. And I'm not really sure what to do with this yet. I've got this kind of this global function out here. I'm going to move this over to drone at the top of it at least. So at least it's close by. I've also got a splat sound effect here, so it's kind of not terribly unreasonable to have it here for now.
So are we expecting that the zaps would happen when things come in contact with the wall? At
Yes.
which point maybe it is the wall that makes the zap.
Oh, no, yeah.
Because meteors are going to have to
No,
hit.
meteors are going to just blow up. I'm
Oh,
gonna
okay.
have meteors just blow, and they'll have a different sound. The drones will do this, maybe something later. So right now, basically, all I'm doing is I'm putting these all close together, using proximity guidelines that things that are closely related should be close together. And so later, when it comes time to refactor that, we can put a to-do here. Consider refactoring this to a zap class, maybe, or something like that. Or a sound effects class. That sounds better to me. So we'll put a note there to ourselves. So at least our technical debt won't go unnoticed. We'll see it in our to-do list.
Your drone image is getting further and further away from your drone class.
All right, let's take that and move it down to here then. There you
Because
go.
I like seeing that drone.
Okay.
It's good.
There you go. All right, so there's the drone. All right, so let's see if I can track where we were. Have we done enough? There's the hit wall call. There it is right there. So now we've cleaned up this code, which is way better now here.
Yeah.
And now I want to check to see, I want to do else if test sprite is instance of Meteor. This is one of my favorite features of TypeScript is this. Now it just implicitly typecasts this, and now I can make calls on Meteor. Right.
And you can detect the fact that as a meteor, it does not have a hit wall, and it'll actually show you that syntactic error there. That was fantastic.
Yeah. And so now I want to do a, I don't think I have the ability to self-destruct the meteor, right? And so I think what I'm just going to, I think I want to call blow unless we are, what kind of wall are we in? So we have a wall,
true.
and we need to kind of change that a little bit too, because let's look at our wall sprites here where we're creating new instances of these. Let's look at our dashed walls and what are we doing here? So we're not actually specifying that it's dashed. And I want to do that right now. And so I've got an enum called orientation at the top of walls. Ooh, we have a wall style. We did do this. Okay, but we just didn't change the constructor. So I want to go back and I want to change the constructor. So let's go back over here and I'm going to come in here and I'm going to say wall style dot dashed, comma, and then I'm going to get rid of this part of it. And I'm going to do the same here. And this is dash as well. So we're going to pass in dash there. And then we're going to do solid Solid doesn't have anything in it though, because there's no variation beyond it. The dashed ones have 4 different directions: up, right, down, left. And so
Yep.
let's see, up, down, right. Which one was this? This was horizontal. Oh, it doesn't matter. It's just empty. Sorry. Yeah. Because it's solid. And then this one as well. Oh, you know what I'm
So
going
do
to
we
do?
load the same sprites and rotate them then? Because they certainly look different on the screen.
No, we don't. We load up. We load up different sprites. Is what we do. I am going to go back to changing this the way it was. Actually, I've decided. I'm going to not do anything additional inside there other than add the type of it coming in. So let's go look at load wall. Load wall comes in here. It's got an orientation, and it's going to have a the style here is the style path. Really, let's rename that to style path, and or maybe just folder, maybe better, like that. That's our folder, and then we're going to say our style is going to be wall style. I think is what it was, right? Wall style,
Yeah.
like that. Okay, and so we've got a style, and now what we want to say is wall.style, looks like it's not there yet, is equal to style, like that. Let's go declare that, drill into it, take a look at it. Good, that's what we want. So we're setting the
and now
wall
we can
style.
test it and decide precisely how to react to a meteor.
Right, and I think that's all we need to do because we didn't change the folder here. I think that's all we have to do with the constructors, and I think we've done that. And we just double check our dashed walls are both sending out the dashed wall style right there, and then solid, you can see it right there, solid and solid right there. Okay.
So when we were talking about new feature in TypeScript that allowed for the instance of the detection and the dynamic sort of application of types or testing of types,
Yeah.
Will's in the chat room there. He says C# who has that now. Now I had a hunch it was coming, but I didn't know it was already there. Will, if you would be so gracious to maybe tell us which version that's in, and if you've got any syntax, that would be really interesting.
Well, he's talking about pattern matching. I don't really agree that it's the same because with pattern matching, you have to, unless my understanding is incorrect, but you have to add a variable name to it. You have to essentially declare it. It's an extra step that is not in TypeScript. Correct me if I'm wrong, Will, but my understanding of it is that's the case. Now I haven't been working in C# in a while, so since this happens, Adam Hazel 85 asks, "Can I have a shout out, please? I love your stream." Yes, Adam.
He's awesome.
That's to you. Definitely.
Great question.
It was a great question to ask that question. Yes, excellent. Okay. So there we go. So let's see. I've got another sign in over here. This is to a top secret thing. You're not supposed to see that. Don't look at that. And let's come back over here.
We saw nothing.
Also, I wasn't supposed to say that it was top secret. So, keep your eyes focused on your code, everybody. Eyes on the code. Okay, so I've got a blow method right here. So we're going to say, we're going to pass in now, I think, because we might want the time. I don't know if we want the time or not, but I've got hit wall up there taking a now. Actually, I'm going to say no on that. And so let's go look at that. 1 second. Wait. What do we need to do? How's the test sprite going to get rid of itself? I have to think about this because I've got a couple different parents, and the meteor itself doesn't know about its parents, I think.
So what does the meteor do at the moment when it hits the bottom of the screen?
Hold on.
Something causes it to explode, right?
Will is saying, confirming, yes, you need an extra variable name. Yes. So I agree. It is. So I don't know. I like that in C#, but there's something about the not needing the extra variable that I really love about TypeScript. I think I just would want it to kind of be a little different down in here. I'd want it to be special and glow a different color if it was now typecast to a drone. And if I were to click on it, I'd kind of want this thing to highlight up as well, the background. Something along those lines. Just a little glow or something like that. What were you asking? Oh, wait.
I was asking about, so you're trying to work out, because the test sprite doesn't know how to explode or self-destruct. However, it is at this point a meteor, and I was wondering what currently happens to cause the meteor to explode when it hits the bottom of the screen.
Okay, we can take a look at that. Well, yeah, let's look at that and see what's going on with that. That is happening, I believe, in Sprite. I think it's in sprites is what I think it is. I think sprites has got a bounce function that we wrote a long time ago, which I'll probably be able to find faster if I come in here and say bounce. No? Really? Check collision against? Did I rename it? No, that's for collisions into each other. I thought I had a bounce in here.
Well, if you have got a bounce, Control-Shift-Q, isn't it? CodeRushed to search for symbols.
Hey, wait,
Oh, hang on, there's a bounce right
there's a
under your
bounce
caret.
right there. Why am I not seeing it here? That's really weird. Okay, that's
That
weird
is
as
a bit
heck.
strange.
All right, so there's my bounce. So
Yeah.
so what's happening is this. I'm iterating through the sprites in reverse order. Okay,
Yeah.
because I'm going to be taking something out of it. And let's see. I'm calling sprite.bounce, and then it returns true if it hit the floor. Then I check to see if it hit the floor and remove, and if also when it hits the floor, we want to remove it. This happens with seeds and it happens with meteors. We remove them and replace them with the seeds. It's the growing plant, right? And with the meteor, it's the explosion. If that's the case, I take this array, I splice it out. I call hit floor func, whatever that is, which is going to then that's set on in the constructor. Okay, so when in our constructor call, which is like farther away than I wanted it to be, but it's up here. Hit floor func is right out over here, right? And so we pass that in as one of the options here. So when we create a set of sprites, which are the meteors over here in main, let's go look for our meteors. There it is, right there. Our hit floor function is add meteor explosion. So when it hits the floor, add meteor explosion basically takes in the sprites and some X position along the floor right there. And then it says, okay, let's just add a new explosion. And when we add the new explosion, it'll just automatically play by adding it into it. Because we've built like what appears to be a very cool game engine, right?
Yeah.
The reason I say it's cool is because we continue to reuse aspects of it in ways that lead to very cool features and functionality with very few lines of code. So
let me ask you a question then. The add meteor explosion, the add drone explosion, are they not, perhaps they weren't back at the start, but are they more maybe suitable to associate with those classes rather than the main function itself?
Wait, say that one more time?
So it feels like you've got an add meteor explosion function that isn't in the meteor class.
That's right. I do.
Yeah? Is that still considered a good idea? Or, sort of with sort of general OO logic, do we not place these things in closer proximity, should we say?
Yeah, no, I think it's a great idea that we could actually do this, especially since this is called add meteor explosions. So we could definitely do that. We could do this. Let's go take a look at it, double check where this is. The thing is, it's going to have to be a static piece because of the way we're passing it in here, like this. While I agree with you.
That's true. We don't have a dedicated Meteors derivative of sprites, do we? So yes, that's that is interesting.
Yeah. Adam Hazel is saying, dude, my Instagram is IGAdam13, please. Adam, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to say it over the air or say it loudly or anything along those lines. That means I'm a sellout. I'm a sellout to do that kind of influence, and I won't do it. So don't go visit that Instagram site. Don't do it.
You have no idea what's at the other end of that link, right?
Yeah, absolutely do not. Adam, I think you may not be as interested in coding as you are in promoting your site. All right, so let's take a look at this. To do here, consider moving to the Meteor class. Something along those lines. And we might change things functionally. So instead of passing in a function, it's just an aspect of this sprite proxy descendant, that it's hit the floor and it can now do something. So there we go. All right. Well, sprites, what are we doing over here? We've got the blow function right here. Let's go ahead and declare that and see what we can do here. Let's declare the method, drill into it. Come on. No, because it doesn't see that it's Meteor. All right, we'll drill into that then instead. There it is. There's right there.
One there.
Because we just declared it.
Okay.
I'm not that good. All right. So, So here's where we want to take it out. And I think that we can make use of at least one. We've got an all meteors out here somewhere, I think, right here. And this is a sprite collection. I think we can say something like this: all meteors dot destroy. And it wants a user ID. Let's take a look at that. What's going on with that?
Because Sprites Destroy wants it.
Yeah. Let's look at this. Hold on a second. Let's look at this. This
I
is
presume that's just a hang up because the drones are owned by users and they must, you want to destroy all the drones a user has before giving them a new one.
Yeah. C# Fritz is rating us with a party of 47. Robert Table says hello. Hope you're having a great day. C# Fritz says raid. Pac-Man Jr. says ho. Robert Table.
Welcome everybody.
Yeah. Pac-Man Jr. says hi. And Ancient Coder says robot overlords times 4. All right, let's do this. Yes, we're having a pretty good day. Thanks for the raid, C# Fritz. Definitely appreciate everything that you are doing. Jay Kirkstetter is now following. Janiscu7 has launched a drone right up there. You can launch a drone yourself by typing in the exclamation mark followed by the drone symbol. By the drone command, like you've already seen. Once that's out there, you can move it around just by typing in the first letter of L of left, up, down, or right to move it around. While you guys are out there, let's go ahead and show some of the, let's go ahead and launch up the walls here. Let's do a test. I think we called it Rect. And we're going to launch up some walls. And now you've got drone health as well. So Janiscu7, you'll see what's happening. You've got one more hit left, Janiscu7, and you're out. So that's kind of what's happening right there. Looks like the Hugo doll is following. Thank you very much, the Hugo doll. So anyway, that's kind of what we're doing right now. We're kind of playing with the mechanics of building a live game over the stream is what we're doing. And so we've got individually controllable drones. You can control your drone again by typing in those commands. Also, by the way, you can type in launch like this and to launch the CodeRushed rocket. And you can type in the full words, right, for example, left. You can type in drop to drop a meteor. And if anybody's underneath it, let me go left a bit, and I'm going to drop a meteor on Rory here in a second. And here comes the drop, like that. And it should come right down. Looks like somebody changed the planet we're on to Pluto, so things are moving much slower. Now that Rory has this, he can throw.
Yes.
He can throw that.
Right. Can you remember what the command was for that?
Well, not anymore because you're dead.
Oh dear.
So yeah, it's getting a little crazy. All right. So the command to toss is just the letter T, Rory, and we made it so that you don't even have to put an exclamation mark in front of it. So you can just type in T and a space, and I'll go ahead and demonstrate that right there. Let me drop down for a little bit, and down a little more and left. And then let's go ahead and drop. And we're writing code that's going to change what you're seeing. So there's that right there. Now, if I want to do a toss, I just type in the letter T and then the number, the horizontal velocity. So maybe say 5 meters per second. I'm going to try and throw this to Rory. And the don't move too much, Rory. And the followed by the vertical velocity, which I'm going to set at about 8 meters per second, maybe 7 meters per second. Here comes the throw to Rory. Rory, get in position. You're going to have to move right.
I'm trying.
It's going to bounce off the wall. Wait, stay right where you are. Look at this. No, you're getting out of the position. No.
It's coming back, though. It's coming back.
All right.
Just no.
Yeah. All right. So there's, of course, and I'm going to throw it to you again. Here we go. Ready? So here we go. What are we on? What planet are we on? We're in the moon. Okay, so what is this? This is Mawardi94 is now following. By the way, when you follow, you get a chance to win a free copy of CodeRushed. We give one away every episode. I'm going to give this about 7 meters per second headed in your direction since we're on the moon, and maybe about 4 meters per second upward velocity. And that's going to be, here it comes. So there's my toss. Ooh, I think it's going to make it. Oh, not good. Too much. I'm going to do another drop, and here comes another toss. I'm going to adjust that a little bit. And I'm going to say, this time I'm going to say 6 meters per second, comma 4, maybe 3.5. And let's see if this gets to you. Oh no, too low. Is it too low? No, it's going to make it. Awesome. And so I've just tossed it to Rory. And now Rory can then toss it to somebody else, and we can maybe score points together, that sort of thing. Now, look at that. Look at that throw, Rory. What a throw. That's awesome. And, of course, you can toss it so it hits no one. Now, by the way...
Indeed. Of course, it just went straight through a wall, which is what we're kind of looking into right now.
Yeah. So we're going to make it so it blows up when it hits the red solid walls, and when it hits the blue dashed walls, it's going to pass through it. So, and right now, by the way, if I were to fly down right now and hit this blue wall, I'm going to blow up eventually. I get a spark that comes down as I come down in there, and there's the sparks, and I've got like one, you can see my health on the drone right there, and that drone health is dropping, and then I blow up, and then that lets go of the meteor, and the meteor will pass through, and then it blows up when it hits the ground. By the way, so I have to be careful what I say because my wife is in the house and she can overhear me. She doesn't like me talking about this, but what I want to do is I want to have... Okay, she was right on the other side of the wall. I'm not sure.
I threw away your flash paper.
So I want to have little explosives just blow up. When you get the meteor here, I want actual explosives in the room like that to blow up. That's what I'm working on. So we're going to do that.
No.
Real McCoy says laughing out loud in the chat room.
You're never going to do it.
Okay, so can you have work to do or something, right?
Never going to do that. That's
All right.
never happening.
So we have to be careful about what we say in the chat room. We have to be careful because eyes and ears are everywhere, and I want to build this. But we're working on it. We're working on. She's on the fence, and we're gonna convince her. We're gonna have to make some breakfasts, I think, and fix some things around the house. Do these things, make the bed. Okay, so what we want to do is we're looking into code right now to make the meteors blow up when they hit that wall. That's what we want to do. We want them to pass through. Wow, look at that. Was that you, Rory? You threw that and it came right back to you? Oh, no, that was Janiscu. It was Janiscu 7. Yeah, I see it in the chat room. Okay, Janiscu 7 threw it and it landed on you. Okay, so I'm going to dock right now. We're going to dock this right here. And if you want to launch a drone, you can. And there we go, just kind of cleaning things up right there. That's what the dock does, like that. So we're looking at destroy. Destroy takes match data in, and it's calling index of, and index of is calling find index, passing this in here on the sprites. And what's looking at find, and that's not what the one I want. Oh, because I know why. Because we're calling this function sprite.matches.
Okay. Which is
So
default false.
Yes, the only problem I have is this is a string. If I change this to any, I could use the other call passing in ourself, right? And I could reuse all of this code if I just change the type to any. So I think I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to change it. Wait, I don't forget what any is. TY? That's it. Okay. So I've got some CodeRushed shortcuts here. So TY gives me a type of any. And so I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to go to my, you could argue this is all I have to do right here. Okay, because all the other strings, well, you know what, we've got type. We're going to have to change the others. We'll have to change the others. So we're going to do this. We're going to say if match data equals this, well, actually, we just want to say return true on that, like that. So return true. Sorry, return that. That's what I meant to say. Okay. Yeah. And then what I want to call here is destroy. And instead of it being user ID, we're going to change that to match data as well. So we're going to start drilling in and kind of making some changes here. This is going to be called match data, like this. And it's going to be of type any, right here, TY. It's going to give me that any. And then let's go into, what about this one? This one is the same as right here, right? That has already been changed, okay. And let's go over here. What made the meteor I got awesome toss for sure that made the meteor to Rory on the last point. Yeah, Janiscu 7, we saw it. It was awesome. It was an awesome pass.
That was very good.
We're going to change this. We'll call this match data, but we're going to change the type to any. So there's that change there. Then we're going to look at index of. And index of, we're going to come back in here and then change this type to any. And then we've got our matches called. And I think that's all we need to do. And so now we can come back in and we can say, okay, in our meteor, we can check to see the matches. Well, if the match data is this, then we're good. And in our drone, meanwhile, in our drone, our matches, we've got a matches function in here. Can we see it? Matches. Right there, we're checking to see if our user ID that we're storing matches the match data. And this should be of type any here as well, I guess, 2i like that. And is that going to get us any type errors? It looks like it does not, and we're okay. Okay, so now we're going to pass in destroy. We're going to pass in this. What else do we need? A destroy function.
That's optional though. So you may or may not want to do that.
Well, this is where we can put some sort of explosion kind of thing.
Oh, right. Well, then in that case,
what we could do.
We're all about the explosions,
right? Let's go look at destroy, where this is called add drone explosion. Ooh, we could just call that add drone explosion, which is out here in the main. It's this main piece right here. Also another candidate, but let's just try that and do this. So that's what's going to happen in our blow function. And I'm going to rename it to blow up. Like that. And so now we've got the meteor is going to blow up there. If it's a meteor and the wall sprite dot style, which we just added, right? Isn't it? What is it? Don't we have style? It's not wall style, is it? It's wall type. Oh, wall type. It's wall type equals wall style dot solid. Then we blow up. Otherwise, we don't care. It's just going to go right through it.
Sure.
Okay? And I think that takes care of this to do here. At least we're pretty close. We can test it now. So let's go ahead and test it. We're going to switch the overlay over. Oh, it looks like somebody just did an awesome throw. That was you, Rory. We're going to reload.
I was wondering about velocity, you see.
Yeah. It's kind of fun to be able to play with this a little bit, right? And I especially love the idea when I'm going to bring an actual basketball hoop out onto this playing field. And the walls are going to be built in such a way that you're going to have to be clever to get it into the basketball hoop. Okay, so we are ready to do let's do a test drop like this, and that's going to give us our two walls here and here. And why didn't they go in? Hold on. I was really expecting those to come in a little bit more. Endcaps.sprite width. Huh. I feel like this totally should have worked for that. Wait. That's our starting frame number. Is that really it? What's going on? I moved the wrong
passed
thing.
it to the wrong parameter.
Yeah. Okay. So
that should stay as 0, and then we need to.
Yep.
What was it?
Don't look at that. Okay, we need to put this somewhere else. 0.
So the X is presumably the 200 at the moment.
Yeah, this is my center. So it's the wall. So that's what I want to do to get that in the right position here. Let's reload one more time with that, and just to make sure that what I'm trying to do is get the ball on screen so we can see that. Okay. All right. So one more time, we are refreshing, and let's get ready to type in the test drop command. And we're almost loaded. There's the load. Here comes the test drop. That's what I wanted to see. And now if I drop a meteor, it should pass through one. Oh, why didn't it blow up on the other? Oh, wait, I know why. Because there's something else we're not doing. Because we are in our drones, I think it's update screen function right here. Let's go bring that up and look for that. Update screen is there. And I think we have here all meteors. Oh, we do have all meteors check against all drones. Okay, but we're looking for, I was looking for all drones in here to see how we're against the walls. Let's look at that. All drones, bounce, all drones there, update position. Wall bounce is where it was happening, right there. Wall bounce goes through all the drones, but there we go. There's our to-do right there. Check meteors as well, right? So right there, that's what we needed to do. So we need to come in here. We need to say all meteors, like this. And then we're going to say these are our meteors, like that. and meteor sprites for each, all of these, and this is going to be a meteor like that, and its type is going to be of type meteor like that. And now I think we're good. We're going to just do the same. We're looking off the same different wall types and doing the bounces on it. So that should take care of all of our meteors. Let's try reload. So get ready for the overlay. I'm going to start typing in my test to drop. Okay, and here comes the drop. And then I'm going to drop and let's see, pass through and whoa! That's not what I wanted. Is the style wrong? It's awesome though how it's just bouncing.
To be honest, it's it's interesting anyway.
Yeah, the smoke's not lined up in the center of it, which we would need to do. It is kind of fun, but I think we need to make it a pass through. Is what we need to do. I'm excited to what is the bouncing wall going to look like? I'm excited because I want them to be visually distinct. I think it's going to be like a zzz, like this kind of a thing, really wide and thick. What are you thinking, Roy?
I'm thinking color-wise, you probably want to go with another primary, so maybe yellow or green.
I'm going to go with purple. I like to go with blues, reds, and purples is what I tend to do. So I'm going to go with purple, I think, for it. Okay, well that's clearly not working like we were expecting. Let's go look at our wall sprite and see why that might be bouncing like that. Let's see. Well, the other thing that's interesting too, so we're going test sprites instance of drone. No, it's not.
I mean, it's not blowing up.
Oh,
right?
here's the bounce.
It's fine there.
This bounce is happening no matter what, right? This is the bounce right here. And we really only want it to happen if it's a bouncy wall for the drone.
There's no health on the Meteor, so naturally it'll stay alive forever.
Yeah, also we're adding smoke no matter what too. And so what we really want to do is take this. So what's happening is we're doing that no matter what. What I don't get is, and because we're changing the velocity, it's just bouncing back up. It's not passing through it because that code was up there. So we've now moved this code. Wait, hold on a second. Did I get this right spot? It looks like I didn't. I want to put it before we call hit wall, like that. So there's our smoke call right there. I do kind of like smoke happening when it goes through it, though. I'm kind of playing with the idea of that exactly happening right up here. So we're going to add it, and we're going to, instead of saying drone width, we're going to say meteor width, which I'm pretty sure we've got out here. Yep. And put that so it's in the center of the meteor. So when we go pass through the barrier, smoke will come up, which I kind of like. Let's play with it again.
What's really great about the code at this stage in this development is that there are so many pieces that work in the scenario that they were originally designed for, but they work in such a way as that just transplanting them somewhere else or calling them from other locations can produce these other stars, and there's very little effort required to get to these new things.
Yeah, I agree. It's fun, and it's one of my favorite parts about programming, right? The struggle is not as fun as this, the tweaking. So let's go in here. We're going to say drop. We're going to drop that through, go pass through. No, I didn't see smoke or what happened there. Oh, because I've got more code, changing direction and doing this. So let's push it, keep going all the way down. If it's a drone, we're going to do this. If it's going to bounce back, this is all bounce back code. I'm going to put a comment here because we're going to need this when we have our bouncing walls, right?
Yeah.
Because we're going to need, bounce back, and then that goes to, and everything above is bounce back, and this is like smoke, and then this is going to be sparks, like this. So I'm just putting these in here so I know what's happening because I'm anticipating refactoring this and pulling it back out again. So that I think is now going to fix it. Let's go ahead and refresh. WorldWake, why does it watching other people program look so awesome, but doing it yourself feels like you're not accomplishing anything interesting? Yeah, I don't know. It could be because I'm doing all of these cool visuals, which, are really fun. I think that may be why. I mean, part of what I'm trying to do is just that, is work with fun visuals, make things that are super fun. So that could be why. Whoops, I dropped a drone. I wanted to say drop. Here comes a drop. Let's see, pass through and blow. Okay, we're partway there. We did the pass through. Test right, hold on, test right add, blow up. I'm going to set a breakpoint here. I think I'm going to set a breakpoint and I'm going to run. Because right now, Mr. Announcer Bot, I don't think is in the house. And normally we have Mr. Announcer Bot in the house by now. So let's, we're going to clear this up right here. We're going to step into the code here. When we get to the blow up, we're going to take a look at that and see what is happening with that. Blow up. Did I do something wrong here? Let's go look at our meteor.blowup.
Just to
Oops.
add to your comments to WorldWake, watching somebody else code has quite a lot of benefits to it that you don't necessarily get when you're just sat there coding yourself. You get to see other people's discovery process. You get to see their testing process. You get to see the way that they debug and maybe even find out some new techniques that you yourself were not using. There is a certain amount of frustration occasionally because you can be screaming at the screen going, the bug's there, and maybe it hasn't been seen yet, which is why, of course, we've had the facility to interrupt Mark and just to grab his attention to the chat room. Just in case.
Right.
But
to
yeah,
do
there's this discovery is kind of the interesting part.
to follow up on what Roy said, if you want to grab my attention, just type in this command in the chat
Mark!
like that, and I will hear you, and we will see that request. So we're here now. Let's go ahead and we're going to do that same test here and see what's going on. Why, when it hits the second one, whoops, I'm going to do a test to drop first, and then a drop. And I've got my breakpoint in there. So is my breakpoint going to be hit? My breakpoint's not even hit.
Oh.
Why is that? Test sprite is a meteor, and the wall type is solid.
Which it is.
It totally should be.
Is there any way we didn't say solid? I mean, I seem to think we did, but
you know, it's a good thing to double check. Let's take a look at it. Let's just do a tab to next reference on the wall sprites here. Yeah, definitely it's solid. Let's make sure that
I know we were allocating from the word style before. So...
Oh wait, no. We're attaching it to the word style, not to wall type. We're checking wall type. Let's go back.
Do we
here.
have a wall type as well as a style?
Well, there was something there. Let's see what we've got here. Looks like we may have two of these.
Oh, right. Yeah.
There's a style. Wait, hold on. Maybe
the constructor has a publicly declared, again, it's the word public in the constructor, makes a field without you having to separately display, to declare it.
Wait. Oh,
So
there it
your
is. Wall type right there. Okay, gotcha. All right. So we need to change that to wall type. And actually, let's change it to wall style. Let's do this. Like this.
That's a bug!
That's a bug. That's right. That is definitely a bug. And so that's the wall style now. Let's go back over to, I renamed that, so I think we're good there. And wait. So new wall, yeah, that all makes sense to me. The wall.
Meteors passes the type directly into the wall instance.
Yeah. Let's go back up to where we were when we were creating those. Let's see here. There we go. Load wall. So now we're going to go get rid of style and get rid of that because, right, we have a wall style. Is that here? Or was it? This is in wall sprites,
So
not in wall.
Sprites has the style. Wall has the wall style, which is a little confusing.
Yes, it is. Why does the wall style is solid? Wall sprite. Yeah. I think I'm putting it in two places and I don't need it, I guess is what I'm saying. The wall sprites are going to know for sure what it is. The wall instance of Meteor, test sprite. Yeah, test sprite should have it. I think what I want to do is, I think I don't want this, is what I think. I think I don't want that. Is that true or no? Give me a second. Give me a second.
What calls load wall?
Load wall is called down here when we're just loading in the visuals for it. So these are essentially, so load wall is a collection of walls is what it will be. Ultimately, the vertical solid wall is actually going to be a whole bunch of vertical solid walls. So when I come in here and I do a sprites.push in here, right, that's now going to be a new piece that we're going to build at this particular location. right?
Mm-hmm.
WorldWake says Twitch, Discord, and Twitter have made me much more engaged in the software developer world. Also, as WorldWake says, yeah, Twitch streams are a great addition to the programmer's arsenal of free time ways of keeping engaged. Clarkio says, "Hey, Mark." Clarkio. I call him Clarkio. Clark.io. And that's not even his first name. You'd think I'd be in first name basis with Clarkio, but I'm not. Clark, how are you doing? Great to have you in here. Clark, if you want to fly a drone, by the way, just type in a bang, DRONE, like that, drone like that, and you'll get your own custom drone right there. You can see it at the top of the screen. There you are. Now that you're out, if you want to fly it, just use the first letter of the direction you want to go in. So R for right, for example, like that, and you can follow it by a number. R4 is going to give you right for 4 seconds. Clarkio, you've caught a meteor. Now that you've caught a meteor, you're so lucky. Now that you've caught a meteor, you can throw it by typing in T for throw, followed by the horizontal velocity as a number, a comma, and then the vertical velocity as a number. So if you type in T3, comma 4, it'll go to your right. Whoa, look at that. Nice throw to Will Bennett. Holy cow, 45 meters per second. What was that? Oh, that was Rory Becker who did that. So anyway, yeah, these are some of the things that you can do in terms of playing around with these, right? You can go up, down, left, or right by typing in the letter of the direction you want to go to. If you get underneath a falling meteor, you can catch it. If we launch, by the way, we can change the gravity. So we've launched right now. We've launched the CodeRushed rocket up there. The CodeRushed rocket can also drop seeds. If you type in a seed like this, you'll get a seed that'll drop down, and you'll get flowers that'll grow right over there. We can move the CodeRushed rocket with commands like, for example, right, like that. And I can also change the planet just by typing in the name of the planet after the bang symbol. So I've just switched to Mars, and gravity switched a little bit, which means if you throw it, it's going to throw differently than if you threw it on planet Earth, for example. So that's kind of a little bit about what's going on with where we are. Yeah, excellent. What are you thinking?
Apparently, you can throw the ball to yourself. With sufficient velocity, you can bounce it off one of the walls, and it'll come right back to you.
Yeah. You absolutely can. So anyway, Brian, thanks so much for coming in. Brian's got an awesome show, by the way. Brian is actually inspired me by, he's got this light in the background. So Brian, your light has inspired me, right? He's got the light in the background. I thought, oh, you know what I want to do? I want to have explosives done off remotely by people in the chat room. So it's kind of like your light, but I just want to blow things up. And all I have to do is get my wife's permission, and we're really, really close, I think, on it. And since I'm not hearing any objections, I'm going to assume she's on board with it and not far enough away that she can't hear me. Will says, since we have UDLR for drones, how about UDLR for the rocket? Oh, I like that. Uppercase for the rocket. So we do case sensitive. Chat controlled fireworks. Yeah, smoke and fire remotely. That's what we want to do. We also have walls, by the way. Let me just show you this, Brian, since you're here. Let's do a test. And these aren't built up to a game yet, but we're building gaming. These kinds of things like there. And there's health on your drone. We're about to lose whoever that was who just was hitting all of those. So
Materialistic walls appearing from nowhere.
There you go, Clarkio. You just ran into the wall right there. Anyway, Clarkio has got a great stream. I recommend checking it out. He does smarter things than I do, and he's way more knowledgeable about JavaScript and TypeScript, I think, than I am as well. So that's my take on Clarkio stuff.
Excellent.
Okay.
Always good to have another resource to look at.
It is, isn't it? Okay, so wait, we're back over here, and we've got kind of this thing happening that when I add a wall, I'm adding its wall type to something that I already know is of that wall type. In other words, I'm duplicating the data inside wall. And the question is, I don't know, it feels like it should kind of be here, but the sprites is going to know it as well. I think I want to take it out of sprites is what I think I want to do. The wall sprites is where I want to remove it. It's got essentially this wall style. It's where is it being used? It's just used in these two places. I'm going to take it out of here, is what I'm going to do.
So at the moment, what we're doing is we're informing the sprites of this information so that it can display the right kind of graphic.
Yes.
But we're also informing the sort of the meta part of things, in theory, so that it can know whether or not it's solid or not. So
Yeah.
actually, the manifestation in the world and how it interacts with other things.
Yeah, so that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to now change the code to wall sprite to solid like that. And then that is, this I think should work now. So we've cleaned it up a little bit. We've got the blow up code here. I'm going to clear my breakpoint because I think that's all going to work. And let's go ahead and let's dock. When we dock, everybody gets to watch their stuff blow up. Kind of fun and cool. Flowers stay around during the dock. They last about a minute or so. But I'm going to get rid of those two because I'm going to switch to another screen that doesn't have the overlay. I'm going to come back over here to reload the overlay. We're going to do our test, and we're really testing to see if the meteor drops through the dashed wall and blows up on the red one. That's what we're looking for. So
Yep.
I'm going to come in here and do the test drop configuration like that. Here they come. And then we're going to do a drop from here. We want to see it pass through and blow. Why not? Now we've got to set a breakpoint.
Sun Panda!
Yeah, I would agree with Will Bennett. We are at a sad panda state. That totally looks like it should do. Is wall style being set? Let's verify that. That is in the constructor. New wall coming out here. Are we setting? There's the dash. There's the solid. We're setting solid for that on the drop. That one should absolutely be right. It doesn't seem to make sense to me. I think we're going to have like an oh my goodness moment when we kind of really figure this out, right? We're going to be like, that's weird. But
Maybe put a breakpoint on the actual condition itself.
yeah, like right there.
Yeah.
Well, when I put it there, it does down here. I think it's because I think I can fix that though. Hold on a second. Let me, give me a second here to clear out all my Chrome instances, because I'm going to kill this, and we're going to restart Mr. Announcer Bot, and because it's got old code. And I think if I do this now, it'll work. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to switch over my view so we just look at this screen, and I'm going to bring up the instance of Chrome that it starts up, and we've got a breakpoint there, and we'll run everything in Chrome here like this for a second. So we can get to that breakpoint. So I'm going to say test drop.
There we have our walls. Good.
And then I'm going to just type in drop. Okay. So here
we're obviously contacting the first wall, and this should not be suitable for breaking anything.
Yeah, I'm just going to run. And run. Oh, I think I ran, and the second one we hit. As soon as I hit run, I didn't realize, but we moved to the second one. Let's do it again. Drop. There. Breakpoint 1, run. And we're at breakpoint 2. I think we're there at the second place. So let's see what's going on here. Let's see if we can... I hit F10 and I should have hit F11. One more time. Run it. Do I have the ability to do this on a condition here? Where's my condition dialog? Condition. I want it to be the second time it hits. The hit count is equal to 2. Right there. And close. And now let's see if we can get it. Do a drop. 1, 2. Good.
There we go.
Excellent.
That looked good.
I like that. That's an awesome feature.
So what is our wall style at this point?
Well, let's see. Wall style is 0. Solid is 0. That should be true. It's an instance. Should be absolutely an instance of a meteor. Should be. Let's hit F10 this time. What? How are we not an instance of a meteor?
So let's go again and take the evaluation of the wall style equals.
I know why.
There's nothing in there that
I know why.
instances of 0 or anything.
I know. I think I know why. I think because we're never actually creating a meteor. I bet that's what's happening. I think because
it's a sprite.
Yes, because it's a sprite proxy, we can add it as itself without. I bet you there's no call to new meteor anywhere in here. So what we need to do is go look at all meteor in our main. And this is kind of a side effect of how we started this. All meteors, let's go look at all meteors and the red meteors. And let's look at where we add a new element to the red meteor. It's going to be a push call right here.
There you go. New sprite proxy.
New sprite proxy. Add meteor. No, that's add meteor explosion. Hold on. We're not quite there yet. Wait. All meteors add. Drop from 1. Okay, this is it. Drop from 1, but it create meteor. This dot create meteor. Oh, we are calling create meteor.
Oh.
We should totally be doing this. Let's double check that. Let's set a breakpoint here and see what happens when we come in and say issue the drop command. Oh, we're at a breakpoint still, I bet, aren't we? And let's try one more time. Drop. We're not even calling it. Let's see how we're
Nothing,
getting that out
yeah.
there. Hold on. There could be it could be another explanation. Let's go to main.
So are we not calling drop meteor anymore then?
I don't know. That could be called from another scenario. Execute command. Let's look for drop. There it is. My rocket.drop meteor now. This dot create meteor. Wait, what? Maybe drop from 1 isn't calling create meteor. Let's look at that. Drop from 1. Create sprite function. It's not being called. I'm calling create sprite instead of create sprite function. Let's just look at drop from 1. See if we're passing in create sprite to it from anywhere else. Not calling here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to come down in here and I'm going to say if create sprite function, then we're going to call create sprite function passing in x, y. Do we have an x and a y? Position and where to. It looks like we do not. And a frame count. Wait, why are we doing a sprite array? Create sprite. Wait. Let's look at what create sprite does. We do this. We calculate this x and y here. Looks like this is work that was kind of incomplete.
Yeah.
It looks like it was happening here. Because I want everything to be the same, but I want to change this to the other type is what I want to do. And here's where the actual piece is. I want to actually pass it in is what I think I want to do. I want to pass it in. So let's do that instead. That's going to be the easiest, fastest solution here. So we're going to pass in this as the create sprite function. I'm going to grab it from here. See if selection increase will get it. Look at that. Nice. Selection increase from CodeRushed. Thank you, CodeRushed. All right. So now over here in create sprite, we've got it looks like I'm passing it in already. Looks like I already had it declared. I just didn't do this. This was the piece that was missing.
Oh, I see. Of course, yes. You just passed through effectively.
So it was incomplete work. It was work I did like a week or so ago, probably 2 or 3 weeks.
Fractionally so.
Yeah, and now we've got this, and now it looks like it'll all work. Looks like the code is done. It just was missing that one parameter change right there. Okay, so now let's go refresh over here. Since we're living in this world now, we do a refresh. Set up the test drop like this. Whoops, I did that too soon. Test drop. There it is. And now the drop. And now we got to create meteor. Now that we got to create meteor, I bet the other one works. And I heard the explosion. I think it's going to work.
Which one did it happen on?
No, it's the right one. That's the distinct sound of the drone blowing up.
Awesome!
That's nice. Okay, so that was the fix. That's what we needed to do.
Fixed!
And so now, super cool, right? Now we can drop meteors. We've got the game elements are here, right? We've got things that our drone can't get through, but our drone can throw, right?
Yep.
And we've got walls that can blow up our meteor and walls, that threaten the meteor and walls that our meteor can pass through, right? With this, we can basically set things up so that your drones have got to stay on one side of the field and throw through the opening into a basket on the other side. And we can change the planet with each basket you get to a different planet, right? And you can earn points for yourself and the whole team, right? The team is everybody in the chat room, right? We're really getting close to being able to actually starting to work with gameplay. I want to be able to create a meteor dropping portal. Because right now, I type in drop manually. right? And it comes down and goes through like that. But what I want to do is I want to have a portal so that I can just put it in there as part of the game. And I've already got the artwork for it. I haven't done it yet, but let's see. I'll give you a preview of it. It's up in here, game assets. I think I've called it Portal. There it is. Here's Portal. And it's got a couple pieces inside of it, but it essentially looks like, I guess I'll just double click it. Well, that doesn't look so good. Hold on a second. Let's do this. This will give you a much better picture of it. Open file and folder. This is what the portal is going to look like. So it kind of opens up from nothing, and then it's going to work just like the flowers do. So the flowers, they play from the beginning where the seeds grow, and then they have a loop that they go to. The flowers look like they're blowing in the wind, and this is going to have the same thing. It's going to grow, and then it's going to just kind of loop.
So you're kind of going to animate from frame 0 through to frame 81, and then maybe loop back to say 27 or so, and then go forward still.
I actually think it's 13 if I'm remembering correctly. Let's see if these are close. Oh yeah, they're close. See, look at that. See, whoops, hold on, I'll show you.
Oh yeah.
If we get this over here. We get this so it's just on so that we can see it. It's not covered. So there's 13 right there, and there's the ending one. Watch.
You can see the little kink in the upper left-hand corner.
Yeah,
it kind of makes it very similar.
See the difference between the two right there? Yeah, there you go. That and that. So it's going to go back, loop it back to 13, and then keep going through the loop. And so it's just like this loop. And it's very, very cool looking, right? It looks like it's not obvious it's a loop. And the meteors are going to pop out of this. So they're going to come up from behind and pop out only if there's a drone underneath it. And if we're really, really smart, we'll make it so that if it sees a drone flying underneath it and it can predict that it'll be underneath it, it drops it so that just as you get underneath it, that meteor hits you. Yeah, that's what we really want, right? It would be so cool.
Yeah,
and I think we have the ability with physics to calculate that. So I'm pretty excited about it. Will Bennett is saying wormhole, and Clark IO is saying fireworks. And you know what? Speaking of fireworks, Rory.
You know what time it is?
Do you know what time it is, Rory?
Oh, I think I do.
Yep, it's time to give away.
It's a brand new car!
That's right. Every day we give away a brand new car.
Dance battle!
Every day we tempt Will Bennett with a brand new car and then swipe it at the last minute.
It's just a
Code Rush giveaway!
It's just a copy of CodeRushed. We're not giving. Today is not the day we're giving away.
Just a copy of CodeRushed? As if it. I think that's the wrong word.
It's better
far better than a brand new car.
It's far better than a brand new car. You're right. So today's winner is, wait for it, right up there.
Pinty the Catman.
All right, Pinty the Catman. Congratulations. I will contact you after the show. The Hugo Doll says, just. Clark Hale says, laughing out loud, Mark, this is amazing. Woo-hoo, congrats, Pinty. Yeah, definitely. So, and I think we can, I feel like we can call it a show, Rory. I want to say thanks so much for,
no trouble whatsoever,
for hanging out with us today. Congratulations to Pinty, and thanks, Will Bennett. Thanks, Clark IO, for showing up. The Hugo Doll as well. Janiscu 7 earlier in the day was awesome. Had an awesome throw. I felt like I was a sportscaster announcer. He threw it across at I think 45 meters per second across, and
it won't be long now, Mark, before that's exactly what you'll be. We'll have teams on either side, baskets to aim for, full immersive gameplay happening, and you can commentate.
The training wheels are off.
Yeah, exactly. Training wheels are off. Real McCoy, thanks so much. Everybody else in the chat room. Brave Cobra, we appreciate everybody. We will see you tomorrow. Tomorrow, I want to be able to, so we've got some basic components. Tomorrow, what we're going to do is we are going to, I think, collect coins so that you are collecting coins and they are permanently stored. So the number of coins you collect as a drone are permanently stored. And if you're flying around as the rocket, then you'll get coins as well. So everybody gets coins if the rocket picks them up, the CodeRushed rocket. And if you pick them up, you get those as well. We'll maybe work on power-ups. So we create power-ups so that if you lose your health because you've flown into some walls, for example. Oh, why is my test wall not working? Is it test walls? Is that what it is? Why is that failing? That's interesting to me. Did we forget to do something there on these?
Not sure.
Pushing in the style of it. That's weird. It's like the test wall isn't working. The drop one worked. Oh, it's wrecked. That's why I changed the command name to test
Nice.
wrecked. That's what I was going to do. That it always helps to say the right thing. And then the other thing I want to work on too is I want to work on having maps for the game where we have a kind of a text layout of where the different walls are, and then we start the game and everything shoots out and the coins go in the right place. You can see that I've kind of started doing that right up here, right here, right here. In fact, let's end with this. This is going to be fun. Let's do an all but mark right here, and let's look for outline chat room, which is the one we're currently doing. And we're going to replace this with all but mark, like that. And we will refresh one more time before we get out of here, because it's kind of a fun thing here. So here's the refresh. Here comes the all but mark. And this is going to be so much fun to do this when you can actually control your individual drones. We're reloading. Here comes the load. And here comes the coins. And there we go. Oh, interesting. All but Mark didn't put any coins over there. So now we can fly around and collect coins and say what a great time we had writing code in JavaScript with Visual Studio.
Whilst being completely distracted by the coins, the rockets, the drones,
Isn't
the
this
flowers,
fun?
the paint, the seeds,
That's right.
the walls,
That's right.
the basketball game.
Everything is working. Everything is normal. Everything is normal. Everything is normal. Little insanity. All right, kids. Rory, why don't you make a clip of this and send me a link to it?
I think that's a show, eh?
We're going to do it. This is a show. Thank you so much. We'll see you tomorrow, kids.